Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 3. We are going to present to you about sexual harassment of women in workplace should not happen in Malaysia. Group 3 consists of 3 members, which is me, Norilya Umairah binti Abdullah, Nurshifak Amrina binti Zulkefely, and Samihah binti Abdul Kadir.
Sexual harassment is a type of bullying intended to hurt or intimidate someone. It can include making sexual jokes, comments, or gestures to or about someone, spreading sexual rumors in person, by text, or online, writing sexual messages about people in bathroom stalls or in other public places, showing someone inappropriate sexual pictures or videos, touching, grabbing, or pinching someone in a deliberately sexual way, asking someone to send you naked pictures of herself or himself, pulling at someone's clothing, and brushing up against someone in a purposefully sexual way. If you are being harassed, don't blame yourself. The idea that someone was asking for it because of something they did, said, or were wearing is false and unacceptable. It often can be helpful to start by telling the person doing the harassing to stop. Let him or her know that this behavior is not okay with you. If that doesn't stop the harassment, don't just ignore the behavior. Usually, ignoring it won't make it stop. Instead, tell a trusted adult about it. Telling someone sooner leads to faster results. You should keep a record of the events that have happened. That way you'll have them if your school or family has to take legal action. Remember, no one has the right to sexually harass or bully anyone else, no matter what.
First, let's take a look at definition of sexual harassment. What is sexual harassment? According to United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, sexual harassment is a form of sexual violence, physical and verbal harassment, and unfavorable sexual demand. These 3 forms may lead to serious other misconducts if the harasser is not able to achieve his objective in harassing women, such as touching, staring, leaning over and giving negative perspective of women so that the employee is able to nitpick on them over tiny details. Furthermore, this issue may happen on both females and males, but the majority of the cases have been reported are on females, as usually in a workplace it is dominated by male employees, so the chance is quite higher for men to do so. Moreover, sexual harassment may occur purposely to violate the dignity of women, as well to intimidate and downgrade women in a lowest method. We as a Malaysian must know the truth that workplace sexual harassment is a serious issue in Malaysia. Based on the first statistic from International Bar Association, or known as IBA, most of the victims are from female workers. And from the other statistic, sexual harassment cases in Malaysia from 2013 until 2017, it is clearly stated that these cases are increasing from time by time. So we can say that the workplace sexual harassment is a serious issue in Malaysia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurshifak Amrina Zulkefely. I will continue the part of public opinion. Okay, for this topic, we have gathered all informations and news from Twitter, from news and other social media. And we found there are victims that have experienced in sexual harassment, but they are too afraid to come out. So, from this tweet, we can see that she is being harassed. At the time she is 32 years old and she still feel traumatized because of those experience. And the second one, Panela Renon, as we know, she is a Malaysian athlete. She also had experience about sexual harassment throughout her journey in being Malaysian athlete, and she shared this experience because she wants to give support and give awareness for the victims. And the third one, there is case about students and her teacher. She is being harassed by her teacher because her teacher made rape jokes in class. So from those tweets, we can see that this is a serious matter that should be taken care seriously by authorities and community. Okay, why choose this topic? The first one, this is a serious crime that causing too much problems but is still being normalized in our community. Of course, sexual harassment was happened for a long time and it's still continuous until this current era. Okay, for the second one, there are heavy punishments in Malaysia that being stated in Laws of Malaysia Act 574 that tell about there are heavy punishments for those who are harassed. But usually, in fact, those punishments are not being executed properly by our authorities. So we hope by doing this topic, we hope that authorities and community have to take this problem seriously to reduce the sexual harassment problem happen in our community.
Let's take a look at first main point, which is the health of sexual harassment victims can be affected mentally and physically. As you all know, sexual harassment can cause serious effect toward victims' life. Furthermore, the health of the victims of sexual harassment can be affected physically and mentally. This is a common issue that takes part in everyone's life, including the celebrities such as Louis C.K., Harvey Weinstein, and Kevin Spacey. They have experienced sexual violence physically and mentally. As Dr. Colin Cullen said, most of the victims of sexual harassment are having anxiety, serious depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. Moreover, on the physical side, the victim may experience headache, muscle ache, and chronic health problems such as high blood pressure because they are unable to control the fear and uneasiness that have been occurred from the sexual harassment. Eventually, these all effects of health problems cause victims to lose weight and insomnia as they are thinking too much about this serious issue. Other than that, the women may face some mental difficulties such as low esteem, doubt, and self-blame. This problem is clearly shown by their actions such as making filthy jokes and other indecent behaviors that symbolize sexual harassment. A bad working environment can make the women feel uneasiness and feel uncomfortable, and their performances in the workplace drastically drop. In addition, they will be afraid to confront people, especially men, during their office hours because they're afraid those filthy things will happen again to them and they are feel not safe anymore in the workplace. This thing also can affect women's performances in the workplace. Victims also declare negative consequences of sexual harassment such as lost job opportunities, stress, and myriad type of diseases. When the victims did not get any chance to voice out this issue to the authorities, it is a sad moment that other people blame her and offended her because of this issue happened. And the impact towards victims of sexual harassment, they are suffering mental problems.
Okay, the second main point is low or inefficient work performance is related to sexual harassment. As we know, sexual harassment causes the reduce of victims' productivity and performance in their work. They do not have the motivation and interest in working, and there are some excuses have been given to avoid the exposure of sexual harassment. Okay, let's move on to the first point is they do not have the motivation and interest in working because the workplace did not provide a safe environment for them, and there, which is the workplace, they are facing those disrespectful acts which is result in their health mentally and physically. So the workplace is not safe for them and they will feel uncomfortable working there. And it also may influence the work group performance. The victims bring negative vibe to the environment and her group may cause unproductivity in their work. Then, the second point is the victims tend to bring some excuses to their company when it comes to work, such as taking sick leave, being tardiness, and neglecting tasks given. The victims start to do their work lazily and carelessly and refuse to go to work. By those attitudes, company can take action by reducing their monthly salary or totally dismissing them at the same time, adversely affecting the victim. So actually, they can harm their career and even worse, lose it. Then, the companies are being affected by all the justification given by the victims in order to prevent themselves from being harassed. If they did not take any movement in restraining this problem, they will need to face other consequences related to the company's productivity and performance.
Okay, for the third main point, regular occurrences of sexual harassment could lead to financial challenges. The first one, the victims tend to take medical leave several times from work. And the second one, the victims may face expulsion from work. The victims tend to take medical leave several times. Why it is happen? It is because the victims want to avoid themselves from the harasser. Because usually sexual harassment in workplace take part as the harasser is the colleague of the victims or the employer. So the victims tend to feel insecure as thinking about their experience in being harassed or about the process of sexual harassment. So they want to avoid and they feel insecure at their own workplace. So due to that, from those having insecure and feel not safe in their own workplace, they may decide to quit from their job. So due to the decision to quit the job, they have no income. So it will lead to financial challenges. Okay, the victims may face expulsion from work. Most of the victims who had experience in sexual harassment are having lost focus in doing their duty, so that it will affect their work performance and result in their low quality work performance. So there is no employer or organization want to keep their workers who are having low quality performance and problems in workplace, so that the victims may face expulsion from work. Due to that, the victims need job references from the last workplace, but usually those who are having problems at workplace and low quality performance will not get great job references. Due to that, it is tough for them to find new job with a lousy job references. And in this current era, we know that it is very hard to find a new job. They have to compete with newly fresh graduates and those who have been fired from due to pandemic COVID-19. So as a result, it is very hard to the victims to find new job because expulsion from work and due to their decision in quitting from this current work. So it will lead to financial problems to themselves and their own family.
So let's move on to the conclusion. Based on writer's POV, to prevent this issue from happening, the best solution in abolishing it should be implied to prevent any serious impact that could ruin the person's life. It is because sexual harassment is a serious issue and it could affect the victim's health, work quality and financial problems and others. Next, based on Islamic perspective, this matter also can be found in the story of Prophet Yusuf AS and stated in the Quran at Surah Yusuf verse 23. Allah has mentioned, and she in whose house he sought to make himself yield, and she made the doors and said, "Come forward." He said, "I seek Allah refuge. Surely my lot made good my abode. Surely the unjust do not prosper." This means that Prophet Yusuf AS was being harassed by a woman and he was seeking Allah's help by praying to him. Next, suggestion. Firstly, to abolish this issue, it is better to enforce unfavorable judgment at once for the sexual harassment cases, which is whipping to give awareness that this is a serious matter. This idea is practical because there is the punishment in the legislation, so the victims have courage to voice out this crisis to the authorities and proper action could be done. Secondly, the other way to extinguish this problem is block all the access to the pornography videos and image to ensure the health of humans' mind. When someone watch these dirty things, they become addicted to it and their tendency to harass someone is higher. And all of us know that watching pornography video is against Islam. Third, the government ought to organize promotional and educational programs such as sexual harassment training specifically for managers. Managers are the most responsible individuals in eradicating the problem of sexual harassment in the workplace. The manager's concern and attention can help this problem to be controlled with effective and wise measures that can be taken by them through the government's guidance. That's all from us. Thank you.